Okay, picture this. It's the late 1800s and you're a farmer living in the Midwestern United States. You get up one morning and you're ready to reap the rewards of your latest harvest. But as soon as you step outside, nothing could have prepared you for the nightmare that was unfolding before your eyes. Locusts everywhere, as far as the eye can see, wreaking havoc on every little thing. All the crops gone. Not just that, but the wood off your fence posts, leather products such as saddles for your horse, even wool straight off the backs of your sheep. Even the clothes off your back were not spared from the monstrous levels of greed and gluttony exuded by these insects. This is the swarm of 1875, also known as Albert's swarm, named after Albert Child, who estimated that the size of the swarm expanded across around 198,000 square miles. This was the largest locust swarm in recorded history, and with good reason, because this swarm darkened the sky. And for something to take up that much space and be so small would have taken at least trillions and trillions of individuals. When we hear large numbers, it's very difficult to try to imagine how big of a number that must be. To get the picture, let's use seconds. 1 million seconds is around 11 or so days, whereas a billion seconds is around 31 years, and a trillion seconds is around 31,000 years. Anyway, this swarm went on for 5 days straight. Very similar to passenger pigeons. If you're aware of passenger pigeons, they would also, when they flew overhead, it would sometimes take days for them to pass. Except, as you already know, locusts are far, far, far more destructive. And obviously, over 100 years ago, food was much harder to obtain as you had to grow most of it yourself. Clearly, as a result from these swarms, many people faced starvation, and they couldn't just stand by and let it happen. Americans did everything they could to try to control the Rocky Mountain locusts from burning them and even eating them. But obviously, as there were trillions of individuals, they were barely making a dent. In the year 1877, the Grasshopper Act in Nebraska was passed, and it ordered that every single able-bodied person between the ages of 16 to 60 had to dedicate 2 full days to destroying locust nymphs or face a $10 fine. In the state of Missouri, they offered a bounty of $1 for every bushel of locusts retrieved. Also, in retaliation, farmers decided to plant hardier crops such as winter wheat and harvest their crops earlier in the season to avoid the worst of the swarms. How in the world did this abundant creature just go extinct by the end of the century? Well, there are a few theories. Their breeding grounds were increasingly used for agricultural purposes, plowing the ground, irrigation ditches, mining, keeping livestock, etc., etc. And I guess more eggs were destroyed than they could keep up with. And over the years, the population just dwindled until there was nothing left, which feels very much impossible given what we know. In 1904, the last confirmed specimen of the Rocky Mountain locust was collected in Colorado. Perhaps the Rocky Mountain locust isn't gone for good. Maybe it's still alive in small numbers. I never want to say I'm glad an animal is extinct, because that's not the right thing to say. But I will say that this creature was definitely more destructive to people and their environment more than any other creature I've covered. So maybe I'll just say that I'm glad that their population is more controlled, if there are individuals still out there, because I do believe that an abundance can cause some problems for the planet and the inhabitants on it. People feel a certain way about insects and bugs and might think, ew, they're gross, I'm glad they're gone. Or, I don't know, maybe you feel mixed ways like I do. I hope you learned something new today, and I will see you in the next video.